Bam!
Jayson Waller here, True Underdog Podcast, top 3 entrepreneur podcast. Thank you for subscribing. Make sure if you're not subscribing, you go ahead and click that damn button. You know, the old school version of selling is, my pitch might be different than your pitch, and maybe that makes me better. We just have a pitch.
A pitch.
That's it. And we just have the objections, so how to handle the objections. Like, we have it in there. And we don't even like to hire solar salespeople because they're all brainwashed with that PPA lease stuff from our competitors or, all that nonsense that's out there. Like, we're different, right? We don't subcontract our installs. We're not sending Bob and Frank in a white van with no windows to come put solar in. We're not doing that, right? And he's not honking the horn. Hey, we don't have that. And we handle all the back-end process. It's all our employees will go do it. We use American-made panels, and we're building credibility. So our reps can go in there with what you talked about at the beginning of this, of confidence.
Yes.
And it's important that they have confidence. So for those out there, you have to help build a brand, or you have to show success. Like you talked about, the gentleman made almost $400,000. That shows confidence. When you have real stories and you have real people doing real things, other people will go, oh, that's real. It's not just fish tickets. Right. I'm interested.
That's correct.
Talk about those objections.
Yeah. So the good news is, good news. We know them all. And that's the proactive approach, right? So when do you want to deal with something negative, right?
Up front. But people think you don't want to deal with it till the end.
Right. So the pitfall of unsuccessful sales reps in any industry, that's not just unique to our industry. This could relate to anybody that's out there listening today. The pitfall of unsuccessful or reps that have moderate success is that they want to hide from potential objections. They want to put them over here in a corner or put them under the rug, not deal with them, instead of being absolutely open and upfront and actually pulling those objections out of the consumer during the process of the sale.
Right.
That's the real diagram for success, is that you want to pull those out. So we know that, I want to think about it. I want to get more quotes, or, my wife isn't here, or, I need to send this by my accountant or my tax guy, or whatever, you name it. It all boils down to just pushing you off, right? That's all it is. It's a stall for time, because they're simply afraid to make it a decision today. Now, confident sales reps breed confident consumers. Mm-hmm. And you will not have a...
Say it again so they hear it.
Confident sales reps breed confident consumers. And when a consumer has confidence in the decision, they don't hesitate. Right? You buy stuff all the time, Jay. I do too. We're all of us in America are consumers. I don't care if you think you are or not. You are. Right? You make decisions to buy stuff every single day. Now, this is a bigger decision, but as long as you're armed with the information to make an informed, educated decision, do you hesitate? The answer is no. You don't. If you see that this is the right thing to do, that this is the right option, you don't hesitate and continue to do the wrong thing.
Right.
You have supreme confidence that, I'm going to make this decision because it's the right thing to do. Right. So our process is built to eliminate those type of obstacles along the way, so that they're all brought up, they're discussed, they're put to bed. So that
give us an example of like how you're bringing it up early, because if the consumer doesn't bring it up till the end, and I'll use the buffalo cow narrative that I have in the book and stuff, right?
Right.
Like a cow runs away from the storm, therefore you guys envision run away from the objections, not wanting to deal with the customer's stuff. Like, I just don't want to deal with it. I'm going to try to sneak on by here. Well, the problem is the storm stays on you longer when you walk away from it. A buffalo runs through it, right? Not like a cow, knocks it out and gets to the sunshine earlier. If you deal with these objections early, now everything's just positive. And when you go into a home, they've got their guard up. That's what it is. You got to make a friend. They have to trust you. You got to build confidence. The guard has to come down before you ask for the business. So talk about one or two different ways to get that.
So there's a couple that always kind of come up or can come up. One of them is because our return on investment can sometimes be between 5 and 8 years, somewhere in that range. there's a hesitation sometimes from a consumer that goes, I don't know if I'm going to be here that long. We don't know if we're going to be in this house that long. So what we teach in discovery, so discovery is the most important part of our sales process, and that's very early on. It's in an outside walk around of the house. We invite them outside. That part's really important. That kind of goes back to our days in the alarm business.
Yeah.
I would always want to try to get them outside. So I'm going to take a couple minutes talking about this, so bear with me. So in the alarm business, I didn't like to actually knock on the door. That was like my least favorite thing.
Right.
Because it was could be confrontational.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell are you doing on my porch? Get off my...
And you're not really a confrontational guy. I am. You're not.
I'm
so
not.
We're good to hang out.
Right. So I developed a style where I didn't have to knock on the door.
Right.
Right. I would just walk up to their flower garden, put the little sign in there, back up to the sidewalk and start taking pictures. Well, if I'm in your yard, in your flower bed, and outside in your driveway taking pictures, what you going to do?
What are you doing out here?
You're going to walk outside of your house, because half the time you knock on a door, they peek through the blinds and not even open it, right? So I'm missing like 50% of my swings. So I didn't even want to knock on the door. I wanted to make them come out. And so I would put the sign in there, start taking the pictures of the sign, and then they would go, what the hell are you doing in my yard? And I would just go, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were even home. I was going to come back later. You got such a pretty yard. I wanted to use your yard as one of our advertising homes. Right. So you remember the pitch. And so then by that time, they're like, well, what are you talking about? And we're both outside. The guard came down. We're having a conversation.
Right.
And now I'm explaining what I'm trying to do. And 30 minutes later, we're signing a contract.
Right.
Right. So that I use that same kind of analogy with our solar guys. Even though they have a booked appointment, even though they, air quote, know we're coming, the guards are still up. Mm-hmm. So the first thing we want to do is get them outside. And it levels the field of play, right? It levels the playing ground. I'm at their house. I'm on their home turf. If we're outside, it's kind of neutral ground, right? Even though it's still their yard. So just mentally and from a philosophy standpoint, it kind of lowers the playing field, or levels the playing field, lowers the guard of the consumer. And then we're going to walk and talk in your yard. Well, getting back to the discovery and the specific example of the objection of, well, I'm not going to live here. Do you want to wait till we're getting ready to ask for the business at the end to find this out? No. Right. So we're going to find that out now. So we do that through the discovery questions. How long have you lived here? Do you like your neighbors? Do you like the schools? And especially when there's a couple of kids running around in the backyard chasing a dog or kicking a soccer ball, I'll look at, Miss Customer and say, ma'am, do you see those two kids having their high school graduation party in this backyard, or maybe would it be in some other backyard in another neighborhood?
Right.
And if she says this backyard, I don't have to deal with that objection later on, because she just told me,
right,
we're going to be here for the next 10, 15 years. These are little kids running around. If she says no, well, we're thinking about a third kid, maybe have to have a bigger house. Okay, that's fine too. I put that in my pocket, and when I get to our financing portion and whatnot, I explain how the flexibility of the lending allows them to be able to transfer the loan, or add it to the equity of their house and sell their house. And so I explained how this still works for you, but I already knew that was a possible objection
and how to handle that,
and how to handle it.
And the way I used to do it, similar to that. I like your way a little better. Right. But I used to just say, I would be making small talk and lowering the guard. And then I would say, like, so how long have you guys been here? And how long do you guys think you're going to be here? Just so I get a date. Same way, but you're making it more personal with the kids in the backyard, which I love. And so that's important. You got to go with your style that works. And so that's a way. And so what you're saying, when you're doing discovery, if the objection's price, you're telling them early on, it's 5 to 8 year return. Like, you're telling them things early on, so there's no surprises. Because when a consumer's surprised, you lose credibility, they don't trust you anymore, and their guard comes back up. Agreed?
100%.
Yep.
So another objection, and you wanted to get a couple, so I'll give you a second one here, that comes up all the time, is either something related to research, or I wanted to check out a couple other companies. And so the only way to really get around that is to make sure that we're building value in 3 specific areas. And I think this is the core of our business. And I think it's the core of the success of our sales reps out in the field is that number one, they're building value in themselves. Mm-hmm. And so we can never forget that even in this day and age of technology and we buy, I'll make $300 purchase on my cell phone and not even blink an eye, right? Of technology and all the advanced research that we can do, people still buy from people, right? So the sales rep being able to build their own personal credibility, being able to talk about their own personal why of why they even are in this industry, why they work for this particular company and represent this type of product and service, that does something really special when they're able to connect. Because when you open up and you're able to show people a little bit about yourself personally.
And be vulnerable.
Yeah, and be genuine about it. Yeah. Something really, really cool happens. It's the mirror effect. They do the exact same thing right back to you. And even if at some point in your outside discovery you didn't get their true why, you will hear. You will at that point. You'll figure it out because they'll be real right back. And you'll figure out what their win looks like, what their why is, and you'll be able to sell to that and provide what they want based on that. So that's one. 2 is our company, right? Building value in Powerhome. And there are a lot of different things about our company that allow us to build value. Certainly we have, tons of credible alliances with big time sports organizations, NCAA schools, Major League Baseball team, all that stuff, right? That's real. That's cool. It's on our vehicles and all that stuff. And they can see it in commercials with Barry and all that. That's awesome. And that helps us, have visibility, credibility as soon as we walk in the door. But that doesn't mean they want to do business with Powerhome, right? One of the things that really separate us are a couple of things. Number one is the fact that, we pride ourselves in that we're an A to Z soup to nuts company, that we are going to handle their solar installation, their construction job on their home from this point all the way to the end. Right? There are lots of different kinds of companies out there. And there are companies and everybody's been in this situation. You've had a home improvement that you wanted to do at your house, get windows, get your upgrade on your kitchen, get one of those new, bath fitters or whatever, get a pool put in. You had somebody look like me, walk like me, talk like me, come in your house and sell you that. They walked out of there and sold that contract to another company that was then going to finance it and get the products and services. And then they're going to subcontract that out to a third provider that was then going to actually execute the work. So when the consumer is, then down the road forced with a warranty claim or an issue or what have you, who do they go to?
Right. It's confusing.
Who do they call? They call the sales rep. He's long gone. They call, the person they finance with. They're like, well, we don't have anything to do with that. That sounds like something with your contractor. They call the contractor and they go, well, that's not our fault. We had a 1-year workmanship warranty in there. You got to call the manufacturer. Now who loses?
Customer.
The customer loses every single time. Powerhome's not like that, right? We're handling this transaction I tell you, we're getting married. Yeah. We're getting married here tonight. You ain't getting rid of me. I'm not going anywhere because how's this going to work? We're going to come to a decision this evening on if you're going to move forward or not. You decide that you're going to go ahead and invest in solar, then I'm going to take this. We're going to go ahead and get you in line. Our folks at the home office are going to take care of you. Number one, you're going to get assigned a concierge that's going to handhold your project all the way through. So you got one point of contact. We have folks that are going to make sure your interconnection gets done, which means we're going to contact your power company. We have folks that if you have an HOA here, they're going to make sure that gets approved too. You ain't got to call those folks. Don't worry about it. Just give us their number. We'll do all the legwork for you. You don't have to lift a finger. After that, all your design work is going to be done by our own in-house designers. They're going to make sure that what we're talking about tonight becomes a designed reality. We're going to get it structurally stamped and approved and permitted at your local permit office, whether that's your municipality, city, county, whatever. So you don't have to do that either. You don't have to do that. So after all that, we've got your system is set on what's called green light. We can go. So your products are already warehoused for you at one of our warehouse facilities closest to you. And then we agree on a time we're going to come out to install. Guess what? On that day of installation, it's going to be our guys in our trucks, wearing our shirts, on our insurance, that are going to take this project that we're talking about tonight and make it a reality. Mm-hmm. Now, let me ask you a very important question. Does that sound like the kind of company that you would like to do business with?
Bam! I love that.
So when they say yes, that's the tie down that doesn't have them go shop another company, doesn't want to get 3 quotes. We have to tie that conversation down. I know that was long-winded, but we have to tie that conversation down with that question so that we can say that objection is put to bed. And now I can go on to the next thing. And we train to handle every aspect of the sale just like that.
No, that was great. So look, we've ran out of time on this one, but what I wanted, but that's okay. We've got more to cover, but we did cold call and we did overcome objections, or what you like to say, not overcome projections, but
we want to reveal. Yes, we want to discover objections.
Yeah, so I like that. Discover the objections and handle them. So this was great. We've got some big things going on at Powerhome. Obviously, we're continuing to grow. We're always looking to recruit. You can visit powerhome.com/careers. We're looking for sales folks, installers, admins, customer service, concierge. We are just trying to build this movement, one panel, one customer, one employee at a time. Super excited to have you on, Kenny Boom Boom. I love you, man. This was great. This was one of our things. We're going to call it the power play, and it's going to be the cold call, the overcome objections, the follow-up, the ask referrals, all kinds of good stuff to help your business grow. Kenny Klinger, Boom Boom, in the house. Bam.
Bam.
And that concludes another episode here on True Underdog. If you're interested in hearing more, make sure you subscribe at iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or the YouTube channel. You can always visit TrueUnderdog.com, subscribe to all of them. Make sure you check out our newest episodes coming out on Mondays and Thursdays. True Underdog, baby. Bam!